Hi, welcome to Move. My name is Claire, and today we'll be focusing on stretching our back, in particular our lower back. So let's get comfortable, find your mat, and we'll get started. I'd like you to come onto all fours. So we're going to take our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. And the first move we're going to do today is for our spine. So we're going to start with movement and mobility. So in your back, you've got this long chain of bones. So feel free to watch me until you know what you're doing and then just look down. So I'm going to be lifting my tailbone gently and creating a little arch in my lower back, not a big one, just a little one, and creating an arch through my rib cage and just looking forward. You can breathe in if you want, and then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under and bone by bone by bone, roll through your spine. And then repeat. So some people call this a cat curl or a cat-cow curl. And the idea is to get a fluid, rolling, smooth sensation. So this is a great place to start. You can get a feel for your back. You can notice if you've got any tightness. And every time you make the arch down like I am now, just pull your belly in because we want to protect the spine as we move it. So we're going to do about 6 to 8 of these rolls. And if you wake up in the morning with a tight back, this is a great one. Really good. So we're moving the bones, each of those little bones in your backbone. Notice if you have a little bit more tension when you lift up, or you might find that when you go down you get tightness, and stay away from that pain area. Just do one more. So you tuck the tailbone and a smooth, liquid rolling sense is working through your spine right now, and then gently release back. Good, so your first movement, cat curling, is to give yourself a sense of the movement in your backbone. From here, walk your hands out in front, keep your butt up high, and then you're going to just press on down toward the floor. Just give yourself a little bit now of a stretch and a lengthen through the whole spine. Maybe your forehead touches the ground. Doesn't matter if it doesn't, just stay there and breathe. Take an inhale, and then just get length. So everything we're doing here today is we're trying to get space in the joints, we're trying to lengthen, trying to create some healthy movement. And then ease yourself back up. Good. Our next movement is called a thread the needle. You might like to take your feet a little bit wider and your knees wider, and then bring your arms together. Now we're going to be leaning on our arms. So see my elbows? We keep them soft when we lean on them, makes the muscles work. Good. So lift up one arm, twist the ribs, take a breath in, notice what happens to your upper back and your lower back. And then as you exhale, you're going to thread that arm through. I'm just leaving the camera for a moment. And then lift back up again. Stretch your fingers, open the chest. And then as you exhale, thread your arms. So you're dropping right down onto your shoulder. Good, do 2 more like that. Notice how far you can go. And then exhale. So your rib cage is the part of the body that twists. You've got one more. Excellent. So keep the belly on. It's your last one. So stretch up and bring your hand down. Good, so when we say to keep the belly on, we're talking about keeping the belly tight. So as you twist the back around, you want to protect those bones. So we'll change sides. So you've got your thumbs touching again, soften your elbows, excellent. And then take a big inhale, lift up. How does this side feel? And then as you exhale, scoop that arm under, and then repeat. Good, so each time you inhale, you might find you get just a little bit more movement. Exhale. Lovely, so you breathe in, you feel the ribs moving and the belly stays nice and tight. And then as you exhale, you thread the arm through. Good, and you've got one more, so big breath in, lift, and then release that hand down. Good, just press your butt back onto your heels. Walk your arms forward and let your forehead rest on the ground And just see how that feels for your body. So you've got your forehead on the ground now. Good, and you're just looking at the floor. And just be aware of the spine. It's in a super long position. Gently press your tailbone back toward the floor. Maybe walk your hands a little bit further forward. So our lower back, it's so common to get tight. And the main movements that we need to focus on is bending it forward, bending it backward, and the rotation. So when you've finished your last breath, just slide yourself back up again. Fantastic. Walk your hands forward now. We're going to come all the way down. So we just did a movement which folded your spine forward. Now you're going to gently extend it backward. So pop your elbows under your armpits. That's it. Good. And if you watch me, I'm just pulling forward with my spine and then just gently looking toward the front. Good. So there should be no tension in your lower back. If you feel tightness, if any of these movements hurt you, something might be wrong. You might have to go and get checked to make sure that everything's healthy in your spine. But right now, pull the belly away from the floor. Good. And just hold that for a couple of breaths. So if you sit down for a job, yeah, a lot of us do these days, this is a great thing to do. When we sit, we fold our spine forward. It gets really tense. So what you're doing is reversing that movement, bringing it to a neutral place. Good. Just take one more breath in. Lovely. And then release. Thumbs under armpits, press yourself back up again. Good. So now we're going to work a little bit movement of the lower spine, but always with a bit of protection. Just walk your knees toward the front and then take your hands as if you're going to do a push-up. This is like a mobility exercise. Be careful of your spine. And then just lower your hips to the ground and then press yourself back up. So you're having a little twist through the pelvis and the rib cage is also twisting. So just notice how this feels in your back. We're going to do about 5 of these. Good, the breath is working. It kind of looks like a push-up, but you're doing it more for mobility. And then release yourself all the way down on the ground. Good. Press yourself up now, and your arm that's closest to the floor, just slide it through. Keep your knees bent, and then even pull them up. Excellent. This top arm, you're going to take a breath in and lift. Keep your arms on the ground, and just turn your head and drop away. So now you're feeling a big open stretch in the chest, but you're also giving yourself a lovely stretch through the lower body as well. Good. If you want to, you can pull your knees up a little bit more and give that back a bit more of a stretch. Lovely. And just stay there and breathe. So it's really interesting to breathe when you're stretching your back. It's sometimes a little bit more challenging. You've twisted the body around. Just be aware of that. It's good to breathe deeply, but you don't want to feel stressed when you do. Lovely. Do one more breath in and then release. So to come out of this movement, lift up your back arm, bring it beside your head and then give yourself a big press. Good. Place your other hand back on the mat, lift yourself back up and you're on all fours. Push back into your pose of the child. Rest your head down again and just notice if there's any changes in your body. So we've really focused on releasing one side. So now we'll work our way to the other side. Take one more breath in and then lift yourself back up onto all fours. Good. So once again, walk your knees toward the front of your mat. Have your hands as if you're doing a push-up position. And then just gently rock yourself down and rock yourself up. You may not go very far, that's okay. But as your knees go one way and your chest faces the floor, you're having a beautiful twist. So as I said today, our focus is really on the lower back. But for some of us, the lower back gets tight because the rib cage doesn't do its job of movement. So your lower back's not designed to twist, it's the upper back. Good, just do one more. And then you're gonna lie all the way down. So lower yourself back down. Good. And then press yourself up and take your back arm all the way forward. So you're lying comfortably on this shoulder. If you want to bring your knees up a little bit, yeah, that's good. And this top arm, you take a breath in, lift. And then as you breathe out, just let it drop back. It may not touch the floor, like it might be way up here, that's okay. But we do want to keep the knees down and this arm down to start with. And you're just breathing. Long breaths in, and then long breaths out. Good. So we're giving the muscle time to relax. And to have a healthy lower back, it's a combination of movement, combination of muscle length, and also strength as well. So if you do some of our Pilates videos, you'll find that's really good. It's a good balance for the stretching. As you exhale, just feel everything let go. Beautiful. Do one more breath in, and then release. Good. So once again, bring your back arm up, press it by your shoulder. We're coming back up onto our knees. So bring yourself right up onto your knees and have yourself long ways on your mat. So we've got these big, strong muscles that live on either side of your spine here, and we're going to stretch those now. So take one leg out to the side. Good. See my kneeling leg? I've got my thigh bone straight up and down. So if you press it over, it won't be quite as effective. So have a look at your leg and have it nice and straight up and down. Lovely. Support your hand on your hip. Take a breath in as you reach. Good. And then just gently press. So we're not trying to get this hand on the other leg or anything. In fact, what you could do is see that grounded hip, push it across, push it away, and then lift and breathe. This should feel amazing for your back. You can reach the whole arm up if you like, or you can bend it. Your focus is on this big, strong muscle, deepest, strongest muscle on the lower back. Good, so we're gonna hold this for a little while, maybe another 3 breaths. So it's good to hold your stretches for around 30 seconds. And when you're really tired, if you wanna hold them for 60 seconds, that's okay. Even longer. You know, some days you just wanna sit in a stretch, that's good. Good, now notice what you're feeling. Be aware of where you feel it, and that can be really interesting when you change sides. So release. Excellent. So they say most of us get backache at some stage in our life, so it's really good that you're doing this stretching series right now because it'll help you really understand how your body works and how your body feels. So we set ourselves back up again. Yeah, we got that? Remember we had that lovely long straight line there. Excellent. Support yourself on your hip and take a breath in and reach. Good, and then reach across. Yeah, that's great. It does feel good. I hope you're feeling as good as I'm feeling right now. So the stretch, deep, deep muscle lives right down. It's really close to the spine. And it's an important one to stretch. And we stay here for a while. Good, so feel free to close your eyes. Feel free just to focus and having some nice, relaxing breaths. So stretching the back. We're focusing on muscles that move it and muscles that just hold it still and stabilize it. And we focus on the lower back, we're focusing on the muscles, but we also want to think about the actual joints around that area and how they need to move as well. Lovely, so just a couple more breaths, just to balance what you did on the other side. Good, fantastic. And then ease yourself back up. It's so good that you're doing this video. You're going to feel amazing afterward. Tuck your feet back in again, sit back down. Good, take a breath and just reach up. Just lengthen a little bit and notice if you feel a little bit more released. You know, like be aware of all the changes that happen as you make different shapes. Excellent. Bring your hands down. Take one hand on the outside of your knee, just a little baby twist. And remember with our twisting, belly button, hip faces front, yeah? So it's just spin of the rib cage. Big inhale. Lovely. And a twist. Good. Change sides. So lengthen your spine. Belly button stays still. Gentle little twist. So we've had a deep, long stretch for the muscles around the lower back on the side. Now we're going to lie back down and focus once again on that spine, on some mobilizing for it. So ease yourself up. Come over onto your back. Lie yourself down on your mat. Down, 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 down. Good, so your spine, it's like a long chain of a lot of little bumpy bones. And this little movement we're going to do now is trying to get each one of those bones moving independently. So at the beginning, we started on all fours in that cat-cow. Now it's the reverse position. So as you lie down, start being aware of the center line of your body, like your tailbone and the spine. It's right in the middle of the right, left sides of your body. Breathe as comfortably as you can, and then tuck the tailbone. And what that means is you pull the groin bone up towards your nose, and the lower back gets flat, yeah? So, and then you're going to continue that movement. So you're going to roll through your spine, one little bone at a time. And this is an amazing movement. It looks simple, and it kind of is simple. And you think, I can do that. And then you do it for a while, and you just get so much more movement. It's one of those really, really subtle movements of the spine. Feel free to close your eyes. We're going for 5 or 6 of these rolls. So you tuck the tailbone and gently peel the spine off the floor. Things to be aware of in this one is, are there any kind of flat patches in your back? You kind of go down chunk, chunk. Can you actually figure out what muscles to use to separately move each of the bones in your back? You've got 4 more. So work with your breath if you can. Close your eyes if you want to. And feel free not to listen to my voice, but I'm just here to guide you through the movement. Good, you've got a couple more. It's okay if your timing is different to mine. We've all got different length spines. Excellent. And once again, if you wake up with a stiff back in the morning, the cat-cow, even this one, even before you get out of bed, this can be a really good one to do. And maybe after we've done a few of these, you're starting to notice that, yeah, you have got just a little bit more movement than you had last time. So if you do this video again, each time you do it, pay attention to the changes that are happening in your body. Lovely work. Good. And then just gently bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little cuddle. So this is like that pose of the child we did before, yeah? So now we're lying on our back. So you hug the knees in and give yourself a little cuddle. If you want to make this a little stronger, feel free just to pick your head up just a little bit, but if that bothers your neck, you don't have to do that one. And then gently release. Beautiful. So we did a little lying on our front back twist, and now the back twist will change because we've anchored ourselves on our spine. So it's really interesting just to notice that, and how when you're in different positions, you get a different stretch. So you're going to extend one leg out nice and long, toes face the ceiling. You're going to pick your hips up. Watch what I do. I literally pick my hip up and I move it across to the side because I'm looking for my lengthened leg to be in line with my hip bone. And then I pick up my bent knee and I put it over the top, like to cross it over the top. Good. So from here, you can jiggle your shoulders flat a little bit. The bent arm can hold on and gently press down on that knee. You can look up if you want to. You can also turn your head all the way away if that feels comfortable for you. Good, and then we breathe here. So we're back to breathing again. Take an inhale, and then just feel everything lengthen as you exhale. Good. Sometimes when you're stretching, it's a great opportunity to really explore your breath. If you get tight and tense, and sometimes if you do get tight and tense in your back, it can kind of make you a little tight and tense in your thinking as well. So if you breathe out really slowly, you might just find that everything relaxes. Good, so we're holding this stretch a little bit longer. So as I said before, 30 seconds is a good length of time. But the bigger the muscle, sometimes the longer the stretch is useful. Lovely. So just take one more breath in, and then release yourself back onto your back. As you come back onto your back, you're going to bend both knees, and we're coming into what's called a butterfly position. So you see I place the soles of my feet together, my knees go wide, and just drop your arms out wide. Take a gaze toward the ceiling, and just feel the length of your spine and breathe there. And start to be aware of the changes that you're making as we go from one position to the other. How does that side of your body feel that we've just stretched? It should feel good. Are you ready to do the other side? Excellent. So the same process. You're going to stretch one leg out straight. You're going to bend the other knee in and literally pick your hips up and move them over. So you notice that as I'm twisting my pelvis, but my spine stays in a really long line. Good. So ease yourself over. I'm just lying on the microphone, so I have to shuffle a bit. There we go. You don't have to do that extra bit. Good, if you want to, you can place your hand on the knee. You can reach the other arm out. Lovely. And then we breathe. So you inhale just to feel the stretch. As you exhale, just let that body melt. Lovely. Once again, if your neck bothers you, you can just look up to the ceiling. And the slower the breath, the more relaxed you'll become. And just like the other side, I'm going to stay here a little while. Breathing in. Exhale. Good. And you can imagine you've got these big balloons inside your ribcage. Blow the balloons up. And then relax as you breathe out. Give it a couple more breaths, just to balance it all out. Everyone. Do one more breath. So good that you've got such a large variety of stretching videos that you can watch. And each one of those is going to give you just a little bit more information. It's going to help you look after your body. Gently release from that one. Come back to what we call that butterfly position once again. So bring your feet to touch. Good. And this time in your butterfly position, we're going to bring our arms above our head. Hold onto our elbows, and just, if you can, let your whole spine just settle. So you've done lots of movement through it, so take some nice deep breaths in. The whole front body is open, and then breathe out. Excellent, you look great. That's it. Do one more breath. Big long breath out. So how is your back feeling? Just gently bring your knees back together. So we know for a lot of us, the butt muscle is an area that gets really tight when your back is bothering you. So a little focus for your butt. Bring one knee in. I'd like you to cross it right over the top of that other thigh. Good, and then pick your legs up in the air. If you watch my arm, I wrap it underneath my thigh. Top foot, just relax it down. And then give yourself a little hug. Good, so our focus right now is this leg that's crossed over into the butt muscle. So your butt muscle, it's actually the largest muscle in your body. And I think a lot of us know that, hey? So as we let our butt muscle stretch, and watch what I'm doing, I'm kind of rocking from side to side. Yeah, and you might find what we call a sweet spot. That spot where it's like, wow, I'm really tight there. If you find one of those spots, just hold it. And if you don't, and just move around and just feel that gentle stretch. It should feel good. So the goal of stretching is to feel good. So you want to make everything comfortable. And once again, you really want to stretch where the joint is opening up. If you feel any pinching sensation, it's not really useful. So always go and see someone if you get any unusual sensations. Good. Shall we try the other side? I think so. So release that leg. I just know that sometimes one side can be really different to the other. So lift your leg up, it goes underneath the thigh. Let your head rest back down, take a breath in. I hope you feel good. Such a treat, 30 minutes of stretching. It's just what the body needs. And now that you're on the other side, what do you notice? Do you have a tight side? Maybe? Good. And we rocked. So you're exploring. It's kind of like you're going on a journey. So as you move the body around, you go onto a journey into the muscles. And what's really interesting with muscles is that you can be tight, like just in a tiny small area. I used to kind of imagine muscles are like long strands of hair, but they're not. It's kind of made up of lots of little sections. So as you feel that, if there's one spot, we call it the sweet spot, feel free to hold it. Otherwise, just journey around. So movement stretching can also be good. Vary it. We've got a couple more breaths to go there. And as you start to notice all the different muscle stretching, you'll start to figure out which muscles make your back feel the best. Good. And then come back to the center. We're going to ease ourselves to sitting, so you might want to roll onto your side or even rock yourself to a seated position. Lovely. And when you get there, just cross your legs out in front of you. Good, sit nice and tall. Walk your hands forward and notice what this feels like in your back. If you're sitting up fairly high, that's okay. And your spine now, we want to grow it really, really long. Yes, so think about lengthening your spine up, 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 and then fold forward. You can place your head on the ground, you can place your head on a block. Sometimes you can even make a little fist, pop your head on there like that, and close your eyes if you want to, and really try and feel that beautiful breath and that beautiful stretch. So, as I said today, our focus was on the back, in particular the lower back, and we've loosened the muscles in the front of the back, on the side of the back, and the big hips, the ones around your glutes or your backside muscles. And we also put the spine into extension. That means a gentle back bend. Gentle back bending is good. So ease yourself back up and spin yourself back over onto all fours. Remember, we started here. So come right back to where you started. Have your hands under your shoulders again and your knees under your hips. I'll just move my little microphone around. Good. I'm going to make some beautiful little cat curls. So we started in this position. So you're going to tuck the tailbone back under, lift the belly in, lift the rib cage, open your shoulder blades, and have that amazing length through the spine. And then as you inhale, lift the tailbone, gently start to let the lower back drop down, gently start to let the rib cage drop down. This is where you started. Doesn't it feel amazing? Do 2 more like that. What good stuff. And notice how your spine feels now compared to the start. It should feel amazing. It's a great little sequence to do. Press back onto your heels. Great sequence to do at the end of your day. Great sequence to do at the beginning of the day. Rest your head on the ground and go, oh, it feels so good. Thank you so much for watching our move video today. I'll see you again.